Today's lesson is on Crossroads by Robert Johnson. First, I'll play through it, and then I'll explain the techniques that are necessary to play it successfully. One thing you should be aware of when you're playing Crossroads is that it uses the E minor pentatonic scale. It sounds like this. That's one octave of it. Now, if you want to, you can expand the scale and play the second octave. It would go this way. Now be aware that I'm playing the third finger on the third fret. It's a finger per fret. So the first string, third finger, third fret. Then it goes to the open string. On the second string, you're also third finger, third fret. And then on the third string, your second finger, second fret, third string open. And then the fourth string, second fret, second finger. Now, immediately after you play the chord, and this will take some practice, and it's okay to pause a little bit between the scale and the chord, but immediately after you play the scale, you want to go into an E chord. Now, on the E chord, I'm strumming it with the backside of my index finger nail. It's possible to do it with more than one finger. So if you strum with one, then it'll sound somewhat soft. It's a gentle way of strumming. If you add two fingers, it increases the volume quite a bit. And then it's possible to use all three. Now, in measure 17, when you get to the 8 repeated B notes, I would encourage you to substitute for the single note a B5 or a B power chord. That's played like this. Now the power chord looks like this. The definition of a power chord, it's an interval of a perfect fifth. It's two adjacent strings, 2 frets apart. You can do it on the 5th and 4th string. You can do it on the 3rd and 5th, or you can play it on the 5th and 4th. Now, when you play it on the 5th and 4th fret, like this, the 5th and 4th string, so that'd be the 2nd fret of the 4th string with the 5th string open. It's like your imaginary fingering here is that, so you're going, so you play it like that with an open string. That would also go for the 6th string and the 5th string. So the two that you would substitute for single notes in Crossroads, it goes, these power chords. Now, when you're fingering, because the power chord is a 2-note chord or a 2-string chord, you want to play the strings with the thumb so that you're crossing over 2 strings simultaneously, or more or less as quickly as you can with the thumb, like that. Imagine it's one big giant string. Now the last chord that I'm ending with is an E sharp 9 chord, which is a really popular chord by Jimi Hendrix. The way you do that, you play the normal E chord and you add the G. And it has a very kind of forceful ending. One additional technique I'd like to teach you about in Crossroads is when you articulate the rests, the silences between the chord strums, it's possible to slap the strings, giving a sound like a snare drum. So you have more or less a built-in snare drum in your performance. It goes like this. Now to do that, you're going to tilt your hand so that the wrist is straight and the thumb is pointing towards the strings. And you hit it, don't change your hand position, you want to keep the fingers curved, but you hit the strings in such a way that they rattle against the frets, creating a very bright snare drum effect.